Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the desert, or should I say welcome back to the theater, because we have a performer on screen, gentlemen, ready to perform her act in front of all of us. So we're gonna judge this performance, alright, Ampu? I know that crying on camera for TikTok views and attention and false sympathizing and all that is very, very cringe. But I will ask you to at least act like we are involved in emotional matter, alright? So there we go, guys. The violin, the sad music is on. Let's get started. As today's episode is about women being left, right, and center, for lack of better words. So let's get started.
I just want to know if other people feels the same way. That I just had a date. It went great, but sometimes after a date, I just feel incredibly sad, even if everything went well, and I don't know why. And I'm acting like a crazy person, and I couldn't control.
Oh, you think so?
I just feel this like feeling of sadness, emptiness, and like.
Well, chat can show up to fill up that emptiness. You know what I mean, guys? She's crying. And should we sympathize? These are the women, guys, that leave men all the time. Men don't cry about it, you know, but women, they, even though nothing wrong happened, they cry. Talk about emotional instability. Holy crap.
Abandonment? I don't know. And literally the date was fine. Everything was fine. And I don't know why I'm feeling this way. Like, do you feel this way? And like, every part of me just wanna like block him, self-sabotage, and just never talk to him again, so that like I just disappear.
Wait, what did the guy do?
So I won't screw it up. Like, I just want to end everything now, when everything was just going so smoothly. Like, I don't know why. Maybe I'm just too broken to have like a normal relationship. Like it gets so exhausting to.
Guys, I'm gonna pause it right here just to mention, inside every boss, babe, career woman, independent, modern woman, this is inside of her, alright? I really want you to understand that inside every woman who says hot girl summer and goes to clubs and messes around with multiple men, this is what they keep on the inside, right? It's just a lot of women fake it really well, but a lot of them cry themselves to sleep, alright? And this one says, I don't know why it is. It is because you are broken. It is because you are addicted to anxiety. It is because you have made multiple bad choices all throughout your life, alright? And this is what it leads to. Like, this is why men are complaining about this. It's not just some, like, pet peeve that we have and we want every woman to be a virgin until she meets the man of her life, or... I mean, that will be pretty nice, but we're not talking talking points because of that, but because the hedonistic approach to life, where you capitalize only on your physical appearance, leads to misery. Like, humans are not programmed to be that. People are not programmed to devalue themselves into being S3X objects. Now, it's a short-lived, you know, passion, you may call it, or it's a short-lived... spiking emotions, you know, you feel on top of the world. Oh, I'm so pretty, there are hundreds of men that want me. But this is what it leads to. It's empty, it's devoid of all meaning and feeling and everything, and it leaves women scarred like this one, alright? I want you to think of these guys every time you see one of these independent boss babes that says how amazing it is to be single at 30, how amazing it is to sleep around not having a care in the world. This is what they hold inside of them.
Exhausting to overthink everything, because you pick up on every little details and vibes, and it's just exhausting to be dating. Even if, and it's not about other people, it's about me. Even if the most perfect guy shows up in my life, I don't think I can right now. So yeah, fuck.
Oh wow. Well, maybe after all, it wasn't a performance, you know? I haven't watched this video, by the way, but then this one is brutally honest. with some things, guys, and I've mentioned this on the channel as well. If God himself appoints the perfect boyfriend for these women, they will just sabotage the relationship. They will break it because they are addicted to anxiety. They'll find their way to throw everything in the garbage again. And this is the result of messing around. This is the result of going for that feminist agenda. This is the result of pursuing short-lived joy, quote unquote, instead of long-term happiness. Right? Very good video, guys. Haven't watched it all. Maybe she was crying for real after all. We don't know, because crying on the internet is always, you know, strange. But maybe she was for real. And she's suffering out here. Now, do I sympathize? Well, it's sad to see the results, right? But I don't necessarily feel bad because you're getting the repercussion of your own actions, you know? Like, I rather feel bad for the amount of women that are pursuing and are going on this path right now, you know? I'm not sad for the ones that have been hearing advice from men and family and friends. Please don't go down that path, and they go there. I don't feel bad for them. I feel bad for the ones that are still blindfolded and misguided into taking that path, because it always leads to this, to having your hand on your face and crying. But now, gentlemen, let's move on to our next woman, and this one, holy crap, is really bad. But for our third and last TikTok, we have a woman that actually is good to counterbalance, you know, because I don't want you to get an aneurysm watching these.
Let's get something straight before we leave dumbass comments like this one. According to the United Nations...
Alright, let me just read. This is a horrible situation, says the comment, but it does not excuse the disgusting S3Xism of people mentioning the bear in the comments. Alright, so this woman, guys, is gonna argue for the bear. She prefers bears over men. Let's watch.
According to the United Nations, the #1 killer of women is men. This is not a sexist personal attack on you or men in general. I know happily married women who would still choose the bear, because the hypothetical is not, would you choose to be in the woods with a man you know and trust, or a bear? It's would...
Alright, I already have to pause it already, guys, because I have my own citations as well. According to these nuts, alright, the reason why men unalive women more than any other animal is, first off, because there are like 5 billion men on this planet, alright? While we don't have bears living in society. This woman is from California, because I checked one of her old videos. How many bears are there in California? You know? Not the amount of men that there are, I presume. I can only presume, guys. I've never been to California. Maybe for every man there's a bear that matches him. I don't know. But in this woman's, you know, condo, in her little apartment, I guess there are no bears around. You know what I mean? I think her neighbor is not a bear. I think she doesn't go to work surrounded by bears. You know, I can only assume. So maybe that's one of the reasons why men unalive women more than bears. Why don't you go and live in the woods surrounded by 40 bears, and you go on the woods alone and see what happens? Why don't you do that, you stupid moron? They are so dumb, guys. They are so dumb. Second off, yeah, first off, you don't live near bears, alright? If you did, the numbers will be quite different. Second off, did you know, again, according to these nuts, that women also unalive more men than bears, sharks, and whatever you want, snakes, guys, eagles, whatever you can think of, alright? Yes, women unalive men more than bears. For the same reason, that there are more women and we live surrounded by humans and not bears to the same scale. So women also unalive more men. Why don't you bring that up, you stupid freaking bastard? They're so stupid, guys. Yet you don't hear men crying about, oh, I will choose a bear. I mean, at this point, I will literally choose a bear over a woman. Not because I feel threatened by a woman, but because they are so painfully horrible, guys. I would rather have a bear munch me down, you know, than having to listen to this freaking woman for 2 seconds. Holy crap, are you annoying. But gentlemen, relax, alright? Let's continue.
Would you choose to be in the woods with a random man picked out of the crowd, or a bear? According to the CDC, over half of women have experienced sexual violence in their life.
Yeah, they're just pulling these numbers out of their arse. Alright, they're just pulling these numbers. Half of women. Guys, I don't know if we are 10 billion people on the world right now. That means there are like 5 billion women. So according to these women, to this woman, 2.5 billion women have been S3 actually raped. Now, is that true? Do you think that's true? Holy crap, they're just pulling these numbers out of their ass. And then these people that constantly give citations, they're one of the most blindsided, deluded, echo chamber individuals. Alright? And when you make a point that has to do with common sense, they'll be like, oh, but give me a citation. Who studied this? I don't need a study to know that not every second woman has been S3 actually raped. Alright? I don't need a study for that. So if you have a sister, that means that either your mother or your sister, statistically speaking, has been S3 actually used. If you have two female friends, that means that one of them has been S3 actually used. It's a bunch of bullcrap, guys. These women, they are so manipulated into believing the crap they spill out of their mouths, you know? Holy hell.
I highly encourage this guy to go to the women in his life and ask all of them, without pressure if they don't want to answer, if they have experienced sexual abuse, so that you can be shocked by the answer and realize that this is not a sexist hypothetical. It is literally statistically more likely that we would be attacked by a man than being attacked by a bear.
Yeah, well, every second woman gets raped. That means that every second man is a rapist. You know, we can assume that maybe the men who are rapists rape multiple women without being caught, without any sort of repercussion. But if that's not the case, for every woman that gets raped, there is a man, you know, there is an equivalent of men that are rapists. So, guys, I'm not a rapist. Holy crap, you are a rapist. Right? One of every two men is a rapist, and I'm not one, so you are one, statistically speaking, right? It's crazy, guys. How many views do I have? Like 5,000. Did you know that out of these 5,000 men watching and the 3 women watching, 2,500 men are rapists? Wow, you guys. I'm getting scared of the amount of S3 actually users that are watching this video right now. Pathetic. Yeah, guys, go do that. Go ask the women in your life, have you been S3 actually used? And if it's a decent woman, she'll probably tell you no, because statistically speaking, the vast majority of women have never experienced that. But if they are delusional and they are feminist, they'll say, yes, I've been S3 actually used. One time this guy asked for my number and I told him no, but he was persistent. It was, S3 actually used. You know, guys? Because this is what they refer to. It's pathetic, guys. Well, let's continue.
Not a sexist hypothetical. This is an important exemplification of an alarming and disturbing statistic throughout the world that has brought a wonderful amount of awareness to men about the level of safety, or lack thereof, that we feel around strange men. So unless you have had to carry mace just to walk to your car at night, out of fear that if you do not have it, you could be sexually assaulted or unalived, you can absolutely shut the fuck up about the bear. Fucking A.
Oh, and she gets upset in the end. These people are dangerous, guys, because they are so stupid that they become dangerous. They believe in their own stupid fucking narrative, even though it's the most dumbass thing you can imagine. But they really believe that brainwashed. So they become dangerous, you know? Like, these people, you saw what happened with the Me Too movement. If these people get the right motivation, they will be ready to wage wars and harm other people because they believe their little indoctrination propaganda. There are dangers. These people need to be put in asylums. They are mentally unstable. They are mentally unfit to live in our societies. Because you honestly, you cannot pick a bear over a man, right? Because statistically speaking, a random man will help you get out of the woods, right? While statistically speaking, a random bear will maul you to death. Now, of course, it's a hypothetical, right? There's too many things to consider. A black bear won't do anything to you. A brown bear has a high likelihood of hurting you, but then again, only if it's hungry or if it's protecting its cubs. If it's a polar bear, you're dead. But then again, what is a polar bear doing in the woods? You know, it's like, it's too hypothetical to, you know, actually think about the real outcomes of it. It's just a hypothetical question of, are you a dumbass or are you not? Any woman, guys, that you ask and gives you the answer of a bear, she is undateable. It's a nice test to test out women. Horrible, guys. Horrible woman. Again, I'd rather choose a bear eating me alive than having to suffer through this woman. Absolutely brain wreck of a person. So let's move on to our last TikTok. This one is actually good and is reasonable.
Honestly, too many women come on this app, watch one Shearer 7 sprinkle video, and then decide that they're deserving of princess treatment, and yet have no class, no grace, no gratitude, no etiquette, no manners, no career prospects, no job, no long-term goals, no practical skills, no hobbies, no interest, and honestly, nothing worth investing in.
Not to interrupt this woman, but the guys, you may be asking, why was Ampu playing the violin while this woman was spilling out bullcrap about the bear? Guys, he was actually frozen, alright? The impact of having to witness that woman postponed his inevitable death. Alright? You know how dogs have this fight or flight or freeze type of reaction? Well, Ampu froze and he passed away recently, but due to the last woman, not to this one.
And honestly, nothing worth investing in. You can't be selfish, unkind, and cruel to both men and other women and then expect everyone to hand life to you on a silver platter. That's not the way that it works. So let me raise this question. Are your standards high, or are you just an entitled brat? The reason I bring this up is because somebody just told me in my comment section that my fiance doesn't do enough for me despite him funding about 90% of my life. I stood up for him and got called a cunt, which honestly is good and fine because I would rather be a cunt than be a fucking loser.
Well, what do you think, gentlemen? Fantastic woman, right? Like, first off, she acknowledges what her husband does for her and admits that he funds like 90% of her life. Second off, she stood up for his husband when people called him out and whatever bullcrap. So she defended him. How often do you see women defending their men? How often do you see women in today's society being grateful for something, for a change? Holy crap, guys. It's literally the bare minimum. Talking about bears, it's the bare minimum. But at the same time, it's like, that's all men want. You know, this woman is attractive. She stands for her husband. She's loyal. She is grateful. She's humble. Holy crap. You know, that's all we want. The perfect woman, guys, to counterbalance the bullcrap that we had to witness before that. But now, gentlemen, let's move on to our article stories, because there are two. They're rather short, but there are two. And again, it's dealing with women being left behind. So, guy unmatched me after great first date. I, 31, a red flag, had a great date yesterday with a guy, 43. We were both very excited and there was great chemistry. He invited, I'm so sick of this word chemistry. The chemistry is such a good subject, you know, to study in school, and then they have to use this effing word to talk about something that is some female delusion type of relationship with men. It's a bullcrap. He invited me to his place, but I declined as I want to wait for things to get S3 actual. Or at least for a second date. Oh wow, guys, this woman is so prude. Wow, second date? Wow, so traditional. I did feel he got disappointed / frustrated, but we agreed to meet again. This morning he unmatched, and I really don't understand why. How can you be 31 and not understand what's going on here? I really don't get it, guys. So, of course, the man was there only for the S3X. Now, she didn't give it to him because they were only on the first date, and I'm not that type of woman. I wait for the second one. So he left. And this is a point that I mention on the channel quite often. If you're a woman and you want for men to view you as something more than an S3X doll, secure the commitment before S3X. It's that easy, guys, because these chads, they don't do these long-ass schemes. They don't, you know, playing around mischievously. Oh, I'm going to do this to trick her into bed. No, it's, oh, you're not giving it for free. All right, I'm going to go to one of my many other options, and that's it. Right? So it's an easy way to weed out the chads, the players, the bad boys, and all that. But of course, these women never do. Let's take a look at the first comment here. Says, you had boundaries and standards that went to his liking. Therefore, he unmatched you. He was primarily looking for S3X. So I don't know if this is I know, Einstein reincarnate, very wise person to understand what's going on here, contrary to the poster of this. But there is the poster, and she says, I guess I found out early on. I dated a lot of different guys. I thought he was special. He was special, guys. This is what chads do, right? And notice how this guy is 43. This very same man, probably, when he was in his 20s, no woman will care to give a crap about him, right? Nobody will care about him. But he went to the gym, he stacked up money, he played his cards right, and now at 43 he's a player. And he has all of these women that dismissed him in the past at the reach of his fingertips. And he can absolutely dismiss this one, go for the next one, he has another one, you know, waiting for him. He has like all these side dishes, and he doesn't care if you don't sleep with him on the first date. He's just gonna go to another one of his options, right? Because these women at 30, guys, they are desperate to find that relationship, and you can trick them very easily by saying the usual stuff of, oh, I can see this going somewhere. No, notice how she thought that he was special and there was chemistry and all that. It's that easy to fool them. And of course the chemistry exists only because he's jacked and attractive. But gentlemen, let's move on to the other one. Dumped again. You love to see it. Received the "it's not working out" text this morning. Had been seeing this guy from Tinder for a few weeks and thought we had amazing chemistry. There is that word again. These women, guys, are just all loving the chemistry so much, you know? I actually thought this was one of the few occasions where this might potentially turn into something, as we talk more than just S3 actually about stuff. So they hooked up, we can only assume. We texted constantly up until yesterday, where I barely heard from him, but I knew he was out with some friends. It was out of character for him, which was really odd. Out of nowhere, I get a text along the lines of, I've been having a long think about us, and I don't think this is going to work. I think we match really well. S3 actually, there it is. But I think this is as far as it will go. So we have the usual, guys. We don't know this age, this woman's age, probably 30. We have the usual, people just using them and throwing them like used napkins. I don't want to keep stringing things out purely for the S3 actual element. You're a really nice girl, but you deserve better. The you deserve better trick. When you leave a woman because you never cared about her at all, but you don't want her to be butthurt about it, so you say, oh, you're too good for me, you deserve better. Sure, mate, sure. I was honestly... Sorry. I was honestly blindsided by it, as the conversation was more than S3 actual. We had really deep conversations about each other, and I thought this had potential. Wow. So sad, guys. Just so sad, it breaking my heart. Have I dodged another avoidant? I swear these women are like NPCs, guys. They use the same buzzwords constantly. It's avoidant, healing journey, chemistry. It's always the same crap, man. It's like, you see how women are, modern women are all alike. They are the same, guys. They are literally the same person, talking the same things, going through the same journey, getting their behind broken by the same chads. They are all the same. Any objective thoughts would really be appreciated. You couldn't take them, right? I've been through this a fair few times now. Oh, you don't say. Really? Really, you've been through this? Wow, I thought this is your first bad experience. I couldn't imagine you were one of these women that had like 40 bad relationships behind her back. And I'm usually quite wise to stuff like this. Sure. But this has genuinely blindsided me. Yeah, of course, you're quite wise to stuff like this. Of course. Guys, fantastic episode. Women being left behind, left, right, and center, dismissed, taken advantage of, and thrown to the garbage where they belong. Thrown to the streets. Let me not be that harsh to mention the garbage, even though they are trash, at least in the dating aspect. Yeah, they belong to the streets. That's where they'll stay. Nobody gives a crap about them. People are using them because they are brainwashed, little pathetic individuals that deserve nothing more when it comes to a serious relationship, right? This is what they deserve. This is what they've been fighting for. This is the lifestyle that they chose. And guys, who are you to interfere with that? You know what I mean? These women have made it clear they prefer bears over men. They prefer the bad boys over the good ones. They prefer the chads over that one man who was like 3 years waiting for them to be ready to have a relationship. They dismissed him, and now here they are crying and whining and all that. Well, gentlemen, thank you for joining. Thank you for making Ampus Day better. Leave a like and subscribe if you like this channel, and I'll see you next time, guys. Have a good one.